Hey, everybody, welcome. This is the weekly news for November 4th, 2012. Just basically take a moment to see what's going on in the world and how it either pertains to Bible prophecy or just pertains to the condition of the world that we live in. And, we're a pivotal moment in America's history coming up on Tuesday. And it's the election of the President of the United States of America. And I'm going to talk about that a little later and just go over some of my thoughts and some of what the other people are saying in the media and on the internet. But before we do that, just check out some of the headlines. A couple weeks back when the embassy was bombed, I had mentioned that, Chris Stevens, the ambassador to Libya, that he wasn't a VIP. He wasn't somebody appointed to a position. He was a civil servant, meaning he was a career government employee. And in that, I just made the statement that, man, this guy was probably just left hanging because he wasn't nobody important, And now what we see is the aftermath, that we see these Navy SEALs that defied orders to go in there and try to save these guys, defied orders to stand down while this safe house was being attacked. And some of these SEALs went in there, defied orders, and they gave their life to try to save some people, and it brings me to the question on why was the admiral of the fleet over there, the vice admiral, why was he relieved of his job? Okay, he's probably relieved of his job because he was pissed off that he lost some SEALs. And he said something about it, because this thing happened in real time. These people watched from aboard the carrier group, in the White House, at the State Department. They all had the technology to see this thing happen in real time, and that's known, okay? And so in that, Hillary takes the bullet for Barack and says, "I take full responsibility." So she should have been fired. That's how it works, though. Government ain't no joke. I'm telling you, people. Your government ain't no joke. So, security officials on the ground in Libya challenged the CIA account. Okay? So now it's, despite carefully narrated version of events rolled out late this week by CIA claiming agents jumped into action as soon as they were notified of calls for help in Benghazi. Security officials on the ground say calls for help went out considerably earlier, and signs of an attack were mounting even before that. So now everybody's just trying to cover their butts. Okay? That's what this is all about. But the bottom line is, we had a whole bunch of guys. We could have sent planes with parachutes. We could have sent helicopters. It could have just been a response, but nothing was done as they were dragging Chris Stevens' dead body through the streets. You know what I mean? Some cold-blooded people running this country. And so what's happening over there right now, the Times of Israel reports 3 Syrian tanks crossed into Golan demilitarized zone. Israel raises alert. Okay, we're still waiting for the fall of Damascus, okay? We're still waiting for Damascus to be leveled. You have Syria at war with a civil war going on, and now they're making an offensive move towards Israel. It doesn't make sense, okay? They should be trying to win the battle they're in. And so, just want to keep an eye on that, because it's a big deal. Bible prophecy, Damascus falls. So, Syria and Damascus, it's on the radar. As watchmen, we're watching for that, okay? It trips me out how I had been hearing about Hurricane Sandy for about a week. Okay? I heard in New Orleans when that flooded, nothing got done. And we see these disasters that happen time and time again, and nothing gets done. The people just get screwed. And we can mobilize a military halfway around the world within a week. And we can't even get water to these people in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. This is a joke, people. I'm telling you. This is a joke. I mean, if I wasn't a Christian, I would be pissed off. I would be like some kind of political advocate for this idea that our country is playing games with the lives of our citizens constantly. Okay? There's no water. What does FEMA do? FEMA taps private vendors to meet Sandy victims' needs. If FEMA can supposedly have hundred thousands of coffins and guillotines and all this stuff and rail cars all ready to go and FEMA camps all ready to go, but they can't have enough water for one little part of the United States. Okay? What's going on here? I mean, who's running this? Okay? It just seems to me that FEMA's not about saving lives. It seems to me that FEMA's about taking lives. Okay? And you'd have to be a fool. You know, in California, where I live, when the big earthquake comes, I would be a fool if I'm going to sit around and wait for my government to come to my aid. Okay? So, you know, you can see me crying for I didn't have no food and water for 2-3 days, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. No way. I'm prepared. Okay? My mind is ready. My mind is ready. Okay? Because I know how long I can go before I just start feeling sorry for myself and do it. Okay? Let alone how long I can go if I'm forced to go. Okay? So what I'm asking, if you live in an area that's known to have floods, earthquakes, you know, avalanches, whatever it is, just be ready, because your government ain't going to come to save you. Even when they have an advance warning as they did with Hurricane Sandy, you would think that in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or wherever is near to New York that's far enough away from the damage, that they would just have trucks, 4-wheel drive, big, huge military trucks just filled with supplies ready to go save American citizens from the aftermath. It's not the case. FEMA is, I don't know what FEMA does because they weren't there for emergency management, okay? Get a clue, people, and you're going to go to the elections on Tuesday and you think your vote matters and you think that people are at your best interest at hand. You're in trouble. You need the Lord. You need Jesus Christ. Okay, that's the only thing that can save you. Alright, and speaking of the election, let's just keep going. So in FEMA's aftermath, that you know, we get this, beforeitsnews.com has a fringe news as well as it's a new site that I've been hip to, the Drudge Report, beforeitsnews.com. This is the fringe. But you could sort of see, you know, this is a Sons of Anarchy star who's over there in Staten Island where he's from, and he's saying it's so bad here, a lot worse than how it's being portrayed in the media. They are finding bodies left and right, okay? Insane. And that there's no water, there's no power, there's no gasoline. And the weird thing is how there's no gas, he says. To get gas requires a 3.5-hour wait. It's like this odd post-apocalyptic kind of thing, okay? We're not ready for a little storm that takes out a couple hundred square miles. Wait till it happens nationwide. Wait till some global cataclysm or something. It's over, people. They've already got the holes dug, and they're going to hide while we're out here wondering who's going to save us. And if we don't know by now, if you've been watching this channel all this long, you know what to do. Any of you who are new to this situation, you need to understand. You need to be prepared to just call on God and only God in this moment. And if you're right by God, you're going to get everything you need. It might not be what you want, but it's definitely going to be what you need. Okay? And as a result of this, you have martial law being declared in parts of New Jersey. So you can almost see this as being Hurricane Sandy comes to New Jersey. You know, that area where the Jersey Shore is, the Snooki and them are under martial law right now. Is that crazy? That's crazy. Okay? And so what is that telling me? You know, I think that's what it's telling me is they aren't ready to bring water, but they sure as hell are ready to bring in troops and declare martial law. Okay? Sort of weird. Alright? Sort of weird. So, in part of this martial law, you know, part of a preparation for a greater event or a larger event, we can see on Wednesday Obama took the first major step in a plan to ban all firearms in the United States, and how he's doing it is that the State Department has overturned the position of President George Bush's administration, which is opposed to a UN treaty on the ban of firearms. See, if the country wants to ban firearms, it's going to be an act of Congress to repeal an amendment. Okay, and that's the people, supposedly, through your elected officials. But what this does is, by the president signing a treaty with a foreign entity like the United Nations, now the State Department is in control, and it supersedes the will of the individual states, and it becomes a mandate from on high that we need to comply with this international relationship that we signed in treaty form. And in that compliance, the states have to comply with the will of the State Department, and now your vote doesn't matter. Your amendment rights, I don't even know which one it is, your amendment rights to carry arms, doesn't matter. You have the right to carry arms, but now you don't have the right as a country to bear arms. It goes to a higher level. This is the New World Order. This is the one world decision-making process that, whether it be Obama or Romney, whatever, it's all the same game. We know it's all the same game. I don't care what Bush's stance was. There was a meeting that said it ain't your turn yet. You can play the hard line, and we're going to have this other guy come in after you, and he's going to, when we're ready, as we approach 2012, and you can get into all these conspiracies, but at the highest level, the idea that something is about to happen globally, and only because 5,126 years ago, all hell broke loose. And now, astronomically, time-wise, we're back into that area of the universe where this happens. Every 5,126 years, the world gets tore up from the floor up. That, you could sort of see how the government might be preparing for whatever it is they think is coming, whether it be a pole shift, whether it be a meteor shower, whether it be Nibiru, whether it be massive earthquakes caused by magnetic fluctuations from the sun's radioactivity. All these ideas come into this theory. It's a conspiracy theory that the United States and all other heads of states around the world are preparing private bunkers, with cities underground, so that they go underground and they survive the wrath to come. And it's very interesting that we see in the Bible how in Revelations that the rich men and the powerful and the generals and all the people, at the end when Christ returns, they're underground. And they're in caves and holes in the rocks, which is a future vision, seeing them in these mountains, in these crevices down in there. And what do they say? Go to eSword, go to King James, type in "fall on us," search for the exact phrase. Luke 23:30. It's Revelation 6:16, and said to the mountains and rocks, "Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb." Look at Hosea 10:8. "The high places also of Avon, the sin of Israel, shall be destroyed. The thorn and the thistle shall come up on their altars, and they shall say to the mountains, Cover us, and to the hills fall on us. Look at the thorn and the thistles. Okay? This is the weeds and the tares. Saying, fall on us. That's Hosea prophecy. And so we go to Luke 23:30. But Jesus turned to them and said, 23:28, Women of Jerusalem, stop crying for me. Instead, cry for yourselves and for your children, because the time is surely coming when people will say, how blessed are the women who couldn't bear children, and the wombs that never bore, and the breasts that never nursed. Then people will begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us up. And if they do this when the wood is green, what will happen when it is dry? Okay? And when it's dry, that's when the weeds, that's when the thorns are their hardest. That's when they hurt the most. Green thorns have a little pliability to them, but a hard thorn is like a needle. Anyway, just interesting connection between what the world's preparing for and what Bible prophecy says, and that's what this is about. This is the apocalypse watch. Okay, we're on watch. Now, are we on escape mode? No, we're not looking for a way out. Okay, we are warriors. We are waiting for battle, waiting to be called into the commission to do Lord's will in this last day. Okay, constantly passing it on to our children and our children's children, this idea. So when and if it does happen in your lifetime, you're prepared. If it does happen, if you were to die today and your children carry on your legacy, how much of what you know do they know? Okay, we're on watch. Okay, so hell in a handbasket. All right. So we got, as far as this election, let's go this. And I ain't even gonna worry about defense cuts, but look at George Soros right here. The money man behind Obama is talking about troop reduction, turning it over to the United Nations, all of that. Reduce the troops, give more authority to the United Nations to come in and save the world. And in that, benefits cuts big. All the soldiers and sailors and jarheads and flyboys that have, given their lives 30 years, and above for their country, 20 years and above, and retired, they live pretty good. And now they want to reduce all their benefits, to help. Actually, what it comes down to is let's reroute that money back into servicing debt, which we all own anyway, is what Soros and them are saying. Let us get paid. And now to the election, Look, Sacramento veteran pollster fired over protest against UN observers. So this lady has been doing it 15 years. She's hardcore. When you go to her polling station, it's down. Everything is in order because this lady's on it 15 years. This is what she does for her country. And she tapped out a really fast email and she questioned this whole thing about why are these people here? They can't vote here, so what are they doing? What are they doing here at the polls? And with minutes, she was on the phone with a supervisor who said her services were no longer required. Okay, and then she said we can't have any intolerance. And the lady says, what exactly is it intolerant of? And basically is, look, you need people, when you're going to rig elections, when you do that hanging Chad fiasco in Florida and all those things, you just need people who ain't going to hey, what's going on? So her questioning the UN observers before they even come to do their job, that they think, we got a problem here. If we got to pull some funny business in Sacramento, this lady's gonna start screaming because she's a woman who isn't gonna just accept what's happening. Okay, and a lot of people, trust me, just want to accept what's happening. So you look at this whole election right now. The poll, Obama 47, Romney 47. Here's another poll, Michigan, that's in Pennsylvania. Michigan, Romney 47, Obama 46. Okay, Axelrod is saying they're in deep trouble. Candy Crowley's already calling him President Obama. Okay, here's another one. Obama 49, Romney 49, okay? Gallup poll, 49, 46, okay? You just got to know that this thing is too close to call. Why? Because it needs to be too close to call. It needs to be too close to call so you don't know who's going to win. So when they decide who's going to win, now it's going to be an issue. Okay? And so look, if I was Romney and those guys, well, I ain't even going to say that. But you got to know, I don't watch TV, so maybe I'm just out of the loop. You know what I mean? I don't watch TV. We have no cable because we didn't upgrade to HD, and our big screen tube TV just goes like Poltergeist is on. Okay, and for months they've been telling us you need to transfer over to the new HD technology because you're going to lose your signal. Well, you know what? Maybe I don't want them knowing how many people are in my living room at any time. You know what I mean? So, the bottom line is, I don't know what's going on out there as far as the TV, but they should be going at each other. I mean, Romney and Ryan should be going at this Libyan thing. They should be going at this whole taking away our rights. You know what I mean? And what is the other side saying? Oh, we want gay marriage, and we want abortion, and we want the rich to pay for health care, and you know what I mean? What are the arguments? What are the arguments? So, what it tells me is, look, the president is in charge of FEMA, and they're blowing it. Okay? Romney and those guys, it's all an act, people. It's all an act. And what they did, the powers that be, see, because the powers that be are the ones who can finance $1 billion for an election and put the guys that they want. And look what they did at the end of the Bush regime. They put John McCain, a feeble, paralyzed guy with a moving Band-Aid. Something keeps going on where they just, he just doesn't look healthy. And they put him in with this crazy woman, and she came off as crazy to me. I don't care if she's the governor of Alaska. She just seemed to me like she was crazy. And so Brock came in and smoked him. Okay, why couldn't they put a rock star up? And now they got a rock star going up against Obama, but they put a Mormon and a Catholic up against them, because really what it comes down to, the people, the powers that be, the homosexual elite that runs Hollywood and the media, the Jewish elite that runs the media, runs the financial services, the banking industry. Obama's their guy. And so they're going to put up. They're not done with what they started. They're not done collapsing America from within. And it would be too obvious if Romney won if he just continued the dismantling of our rights. He can't do it. It doesn't seem right. So to me, it just seems like they can just say, "We told you so." They're going to put Obama in there and just say, "We told you so." And now, is it going to be civil war? Is it going to be martial law? Is Alex Jones going to rally all the good old boys, gun-toting NRA members down in the southern parts of the United States who are just ready to throw heat as soon as they get a rally call? Is Romney and Ryan going to get up there and say, this election was stolen by the UN? And now it's a foreign threat, and you just got all these scenarios that can play out. So, I've never been one to put a date on a rapture, the Lord's coming here, you know what I mean? I've always thought that the tribulation and war and civil war and the invasion of America and the destruction of America, those are the things that I'm looking for. Okay, because it's really clear to me in the Bible, and if you saw the Friday's message, that a whole lot of bad stuff has to happen, and then the sun will stop shining, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall down from the sky, and then the sign of the Son of Man. Okay? So, anybody's trying to talk to you about rapture, they need to wake up. And a lot of these people, they've always had to refocus their game plan and readjust their plan on what to do, you know? And so I think what we want, okay, immediately, Matthew 24:29, immediately after the troubles of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of heaven will be shaken loose. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, and all the tribes of the land will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Okay? And then you gotta know, when he's coming, twinkling, 1 Corinthians 15:52, let me tell you a secret. Not all of us will die, but all of us will be changed in a moment, faster than an eye can blink, at the sound of the last trumpet. Indeed, that trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised never to decay, and we will be changed in the twinkling of an eye. For what is decaying must be clothed, and what cannot decay, and what is dying must be clothed with what cannot die. So basically, if you go to 7th, and we go to the Revelations, Revelation 11:15, and when the seventh angel blew his trumpet, there were loud voices in heaven saying, the world's kingdom has become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Messiah, and he will rule forever and ever. Okay? That's what we're waiting for. Okay? I don't know what it means to pray that you be saved from this great day of destruction. Okay? I'm not even going to go there yet, you know, and what I'm about is, it's very clear to me that a whole bunch of bad stuff has to happen. And at that moment, when all hell is breaking loose and people don't know what to do, that is when we can stand up for the Lord and say, this is the Bible. This is what's going down. You need to repent. You need to seek Jesus. If Jesus is not your Savior, you need to accept him in your heart right now and ask him to forgive you of your sins. And you need to move forward with us, and you need to tell as many people as possible, because they're going to come and grab as many as they can and put them up and put them to death. Okay? So, when you go to the polls on Tuesday, if you're going to vote, okay, I'm not going to vote. I don't vote. Okay? No. I'm a veteran of the armed forces. I'm a veteran of the United States Foreign Service. And I'm a veteran of the Corporation for National Service, AmeriCorps. Government agencies where I've given my time. And each time I had questioned, except the military. The military is the military. But in the Foreign Service and in AmeriCorps, it was clear to me that the government is a joke. It's a bunch of crooks, okay? And I'm not gonna vote and think when I lose that my side lost, because I have no side. I'm on the Lord's side, okay? Because vote is not a requirement. I don't have to obey Caesar because he hasn't told me. I don't have to disobey Caesar because he hasn't told me I have to vote. Okay? So it's my choice not to vote. And I just watched the Frontline special on Romney and Obama. And I promise you, I wouldn't vote for Obama for one reason. That when he was in high school, he was in the Choom Gang. A bunch of dope smokers, okay? And when he became president, he said, we're going to let him sell weed. And then he reneged and they started cracking down. Okay? So, the bottom line is, he's a head. And he's a lion head. Okay? And although he might have stopped smoking weed, he's not against going to the dealers and getting what he needs. And that's what he's done in his political process. Those that deal and those that divvy up policy, he's in there behind closed doors and he's selling us out. It's his turn, okay? And if I would vote for Romney, it would just be because, not that I got an issue with Mormonism, because at the end times, every church is going to have their role, and God's put them there to do what they need to do. That because I just think his heart is right, you know, and I think he epitomizes the American dream. Okay, his daddy had money. He went to school. He got educated, and he got his money. Okay, it doesn't matter what he thinks. And he was smart enough when he ran for governor of Massachusetts to flip-flop on abortion, because really he's not a woman. It's not his choice. He told him how he felt, but he supported a woman's choice in the state in which he wanted to represent. So they all got good and bad reasons to vote for him. So right now, I endorse Jesus Christ. I endorse that you go down there to the polls and you do a write-in ballot and you write your candidate's name in and you say Yeshua HaMashiach or Jesus Christ, or don't vote at all, because you're kidding yourself if you think it matters. I really mean that. You are kidding yourself if you think it matters. It's all a joke, okay? But the bottom line is, you got one guy who had nothing, pissed off at the world, didn't grow up with a daddy, pissed off at the world. He'll get his, disguising it around caring for people. This is an ego thing, that he's going to help people. Okay, he hasn't helped nobody in New Jersey, as they're hungry and they're thirsty right now, okay? He's not about helping people. He's about himself, okay? Mitt Romney, he's about big money, okay? And that his attitude is, if you can't get your own, you might need to go, okay? So I wouldn't vote for either of them, okay? But as far as integrity, Romney's always told you what he's about. He's about the money. He's about efficiency. He's about everybody contributing. And Obama, he's a taker, okay? So I've said too much, because it just sounds like I have an opinion, and I don't. I'm confused. It's all a joke. It's all a joke. So just be ready for anything, all right? Have some water. Have some knowledge that you can fast, that you can go days. How many days you think you can go without food and water as you work to help your family survive, okay? As you go without, so your children can have what little you have, okay? And not have to be part of the sharing process in the time of emergency, okay? Just be ready for anything. Anytime, anywhere. I love you guys, and I just want us to know that in this bunker we are in a bunker, and we're waiting for the war cry. And until then, we just keep studying our manual. We keep studying our manual. We keep studying our Bible, and we stay in the Spirit, and we do the things we need to do to be worthy at that day, okay? And should that day come sooner for some of us, and we go to meet our Maker, that we're prepared on that day, and we've done what we've needed. We've repented, we've prayed, we've worshiped, we've given, we've loved, we've fasted. All right, I pray for all of us for that strength and that wisdom. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, in the Ruach HaKodesh, amen.